We are halfway through our second year with the Denver Broncos, and last episode we re-signed Courtland Sutton to a pretty solid 3-year deal for just below $36 million in total, so about $11-12 million in terms of salary each season until he is 31 years old. And now we're 5-3 at the trade deadline, coming off a pretty nice performance against the Jacksonville Jaguars, who fall to 4-4. I thought about making a couple of trades here at the deadline, but I'm thinking against it because there aren't too many players that would be worth more than like a 5th or 6th round pick. Zach Allen is one of those guys, but he wants to come back, and I think he's a pretty big part of our run defense this season. And I also considered trading away Garrett Bowles, but again, he's still a really solid left tackle, and if we're going to be a relatively solid playoff wildcard-esque team, I do not think it makes much sense to trade away one of our starting offensive linemen. We just signed Donovan Wilson in our last off season, so that makes no sense to trade him away, and he's also a starter. We got Josh Reynolds at receiver, who is some really solid depth. So I think for most players, there's just no real reason to trade somebody away. Singleton, also a starter for us. I think he's been really good. So I think we're going to avoid any trades here at the deadline and avoid acquiring anybody either. So no moves for the roster. We're going to ride it out and see if this starting lineup can really carry us down the home stretch here, and see if we can potentially secure a wild card playoff spot here in the next couple of weeks. Entering week 9, upgrade point for our first round pick, Luke Blackstock, and I'm going to go with man coverage once again for him because, again, that is the most used coverage type in the NFL. We get +2 there and +1 press in a couple areas as well. Despite him being a normal dev player, he is all the way up to a 79, and he honestly might earn star dev after this rookie year because of his really solid start to his career. He's had at least 4 INTs this season. And now we got Jamil Barber, who has worse zone than man, and zone is more common for safety, so I will use zone for him. But he's also been really solid. Not as many INTs as Blackstock, but he has been a really solid piece to our defense too. That will take us to our first of several games this episode, folks, here at Mile High Stadium in Power Field. Welcomes you to a game against the 4-3 New England Patriots. Both teams trying to stay clear above 500. We come in 2 games over, trying to move to our 6th win of the season. Through 3 quarters, the Patriots lead by a touchdown, but the Broncos are driving in the red zone. And now 1st and goal from the 2. Bo Nix inside the 1. And Greg Cooks will get us in the end zone to tie the game at 24 apiece. They've been trailing for the entirety of the game until now. They were up by as many as 10 points earlier in the half. So this offense led by Drake May trying to hold on to a potential win here. This will be their 5th of the season. Now they're driving down the field into Broncos territory. 6-yard run by Ramondre Stevenson and a 1st down. It's red zone defense for the Broncos. 4 minutes to play here in regulation. Patriots trying to retake the lead here late as Stevenson is shoved ahead and picks up 6. And he hands it off, and there's a hole for Stevenson. Inside the 1 he goes on his 15th carry of the night. And they go empty. May looking for the end zone. Caught! It's a Hunter Henry touchdown. The Patriots are back on top here with about 3 minutes left to play. All right, here we go. Bo Nix, a top 5 passing leader this year in terms of pass yards per game. And now a big drive right here, a potential legacy drive for Bo Nix. We trail by 7, needing a touchdown to tying the game up. And we have not turned the ball over so far today. He's got one passing touchdown, over 230 yards so far on the night, trying to add to it here. That pass went to Greg Dulcich for 4 yards, and that brings up 2nd down and 6. Good protection. Nix floats it into double coverage. It's broken up. You gotta think it's 4-down territory the rest of the way until we tie the game. And Franklin is inches shy of the marker. And out of the 2-minute warning, the Denver Broncos will have to stay on the field. Alvin Kamara is the tailback. Will pitch it out to him, and he will just get enough to keep the drive going. That was close. Back to throw again. Cooks and pass protection. Dulcich picks up 8. 2nd down. 4-man rush and complete over the middle to Marvin Mims Jr. We are a yard shy of midfield. We have 1 timeout left after burning 2 these last couple of plays. But still plenty of time. Slip screen, setting up. Cooks runs by a blocker, breaks a tackle, makes 1-man miss, and gains 9. Now the Broncos will go fast. He faked the handoff. Nix slows one up, nearly intercepted. From the 42, Patriots bring 4. Nix can't get it away. He's taken down for a huge 16-yard loss. 4th and 17. We fake the handoff, and we get the 1st down conversion. Greg Dulcich. A couple of huge grabs on this one drive. And we burn our final timeouts. But we're still kicking. There's 42 seconds on the clock. Another play fake. Another completion to Dulcich for a 1st down. The clock does not stop. We gotta go fast. We're 22 yards away. Nix will just throw it out of bounds this time. We've got about 2, perhaps 3 plays to get in the end zone. Not sure what the ideal was there. A completed pass has to reach the end zone. Another throwaway. You can't throw it away on 4th down. We've got 1 more shot at this. That's 3 straight passes thrown out of bounds with no chance to complete them. And now it's another 4th. Over the middle. Broken up. Intended for Dulcich. And the New England Patriots are going to come out on top. We were just a couple of plays away from forcing OT. We're going to pick up our 4th loss of the year. The Patriots move to 5-3. That is a really tough loss to take right there. Despite another solid Bo Nix performance, he gets outshined here by Drake May, who throws for 4 touchdowns, does throw 2 picks, but leads the Pats on a touchdown drive, a game-winning drive. And the ground game for us this year has been very underutilized, very inconsistent, and that continues here. Greg Cooks, 1.9 per carry. Kamara, 3.2. They kind of split the carries once again. Dulcich goes for $104. Kendrick Bourne had a huge, nearly 90-yard touchdown catch in this game. So, a couple bigger plays made by the Patriots offense, and now we are only 1 game over 500. Our 2 picks came from Jamil Barber and Tyrell Dotson, so Barber gets his 2nd of the year. Got a couple of sacks here from Bonito and Malcolm Roach. We have not really seen our top pass rusher, Baron Browning, show up really these last couple of weeks. Hoping to get things back on track in the pass rush department. But now, the race is kind of heating up here in the AFC West because the Chargers now are 4-4 after a 1-4 start. They've won 3 games in a row. And if they keep that going, they will be in the running for that last wildcard spot just like we are. And entering Week 10, they have now won 4 games in a row. They have actually surpassed us in the division because they beat us earlier this year. Here's our chance to get one back and get back in the win column. We go to SoFi Stadium now to try and even up the season series against Justin Herbert, Jim Harbaugh, and the LA Chargers. Here we go on the road looking for win number 6. We're in the 4th quarter now, folks, and the Chargers lead us 17-10. So far, putting a second half shutout together, but now the Broncos have it to open the 4th quarter, trailing by a touch and looking for our first points of the afternoon. We have had 3 turnovers here in this game. We have not forced any off of LA. We start from the 30-yard line here to open the drive. It's Greg Cooks, full head of steam. 8 yards. Nix takes the handoff, looking left, caught by Dulcich. So far, he's been his top targets on the season. The most receptions, most targets of any guy on this passing offense. Now at the 50, Cooks gets hammered for a loss of 1. Cooks will stay in. He'll get the handoff and gets us back over midfield. But now it's 3rd down and 8. Got to get to about the 40-yard line for a first down. They bring 4. The pass is broken up and nearly caught off a couple of tips. But we can't haul it in. A fantastic punt pins LA inside their own 10. Herbert drops back, slings it, and it's broken up. Intended for Palmer. That was actually Amari Cooper. My bad, I forgot that he was signed by this team in this past offseason. But there's going to be stopped for a loss of 3. The former Bronco Javonte Williams is dropped for a loss, and now it's 3rd and pretty long from the 4-yard line. Herbert's will just hand it off. Broken tackle, but not nearly enough yards. The defense forces a punt. Starting 3 yards shy of our last punts. Here we go. Nix biding time and completing it to Franklin inside the LA 30. And now we're in field goal range, but that would not tie things up. A touchdown will. We hand it off to Cooks, but nothing opens up, and he is going to lose a yard on the run. Cooks will stay in. He gets the handoff to the outside. That brings up 3rd and 7. We need the 18-yard line. Instead, we hand the ball off, and Jaleel McLaughlin has enough. I don't usually condone 2nd and 3rd and long runs, but this time it actually works out. A hole opens up. The Broncos are in business, 12 yards away from 6. Cooks back in. We'll give it to him. He's got some space and is hit down after a 5-yard pickup. Nix pumps. Has time. And finds a man open. It's Troy Franklin for this touchdown. The former Ducks link up for another touchdown this season. And now we have tied the game if the PAT is good. From the 27, here's the Chargers starting with the run. It's Javonte Williams. Tackle made by Alex Singleton for no gain. Under 4 to play here at SoFi Stadium. Denver looking to make a comeback here in this 4th quarter and get us back in the win column. Tough grab there on traffic made by Amari Cooper. Herbert has less than 170 passing yards, but has not turned the ball over. He has been pretty efficient so far. Then our defense get off the field again. Herbert's pass caught in stride by Cooper once again. That was the rookie Luke Blackstock getting beat in man coverage by Amari Cooper. Herbert's quick hitter. Not a lot. We'll give it to Williams. He fights his way to the 39-yard line to get us to the warning. Another short third down. Herbert has a man wide open underneath. And the drive stays alive. We have 3 timeouts to use. We have to force these guys to a field goal attempt or worse. Herbert to throw, under pressure, huge sack! It's Chris Abrams-Drain coming off the edge. Unblocked, loss of 10. We bring pressure again, but it's caught! Cooper to the house! An immediate answer by Herbert and Amari Cooper linking up for several big grabs here in the fourth quarter. And the Chargers retake the lead late in this one, just like the Patriots last week. We've got 1:14 on the clock. Another late game drive here for Bo Nix and company as Dulcich receives the dump-off pass. It was for 2 yards. That's not going to cut it, guys. But now a man open and Sutton up to the 50-yard line. We burn our first timeout. That's more like it. 50 more, and this game is all tied up. Nix evades pressure. He's going to scramble and slide after a 5-yard gain. 15 seconds comes off the clock and more. 20 are left in the ball game. This one's caught for a first down, and we use our penultimate timeouts. Just like our last game, we have to put the ball in the end zone to force overtime. Nix will throw it away with pressure coming. From the 34. Nix over the middle has Sutton for a gain of 9, and we have no timeouts left. Probably have 2 shots here for the end zone. 25 yards away. Nix loads it up and is way off the mark. What the hell was that? Sutton never had a chance, but might have actually scored if Bo Nix puts the ball towards the back of the end zone. And now it's our last shot. 4th and 1, and another incompletion that never had a chance of scoring. The Chargers win and drop us to 500. They've won 5 straight games, and we've lost 2. Back-to-back comeback efforts fall short. Herbert, 235, 2 scores, no INTs, 19 for 26 passing. Nix throws the ball 40 times, throws 2 touchdowns, throws 1 pick earlier in the ball game. Neither ground game was really that effective at all in this one. Dulcich goes for a $146 this time. He's been heavily involved, but Amari Cooper torched us there in that fourth quarter. That led us to a loss. That was Chris Abrams-Drain and Donovan Wilson getting beat in coverage. And despite that sack by him, they scored on the play right afterwards. And now, after 5-3 through our first 8 weeks, we are 5-5, and now we are at least 1 game back from LA and our own division. The Chiefs are 6-2 and probably won this week as well. We gotta start winning these close games. Now we gotta face the 6-3 Chicago Bears and Caleb Williams. A top passing team in Denver against a top pass defense in the Chicago Bears. And once again, our pass defense is nearly dead last in the entire league. We have not figured out a way to fix that this year. We have a couple of young players alongside Pat Surtain, and we might just have to wait until those guys progress better these next couple of seasons before that really becomes more of a medium to solid pass defense. But so far, that has not been the case. We are not losing games because of our quarterback play, guys. He's got 17 touchdowns, over 2,700 passing yards, only 5 INTs all year long, 70% completion percentage, a 105.2 rating, good YPA. He's been sacked 23 times, which is, I think, a lot for this point in the year through 10 games. So the offensive line needs some work and needs to get the ball a bit quicker, but we're not losing because of him. It's our defense that has not been good this year for the most part. So, kind of a difference between last year and this year. There were a couple of poor defensive games last year too, but not as many as this year. So here we go at Soldier Field, taking on the Chicago Bears. A huge game for us. We've lost 2 in a row. They're 6-3. If we win, we go above 500. If we lose, it's going to be 3 straight L's, and that puts us below the 500 mark, which would be horrible for our playoff chances. Chicago is absolutely destroying us. It's 28-7 at halftime. And now we're just getting completely blown out, completely embarrassed. We punt the ball away. It's a 34-yard punt. The Bears take over inside the Denver 40. This game is already over. 42 points allowed, make it 49. What just happened? Over 400 offensive yards allowed. Almost 50 points. Caleb Williams goes 20 for 26, 4 touchdowns, no INTs. A very good day for him. Bo Nix, less than 200 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, another pick, and back-to-back weeks. DeAndre Swift, 6.5 per carry. Kenneth Gainwell, not a whole lot worse. Our ground game was not very good, 2.6 for Cooks. And we did not get any runs for Alvin Kamara in this game. He must have been injured here in this one. And we are in a pretty major slump. Right when I chose not to make any moves, we start to lose some games. 2 out of our next 3 games come against the Las Vegas Raiders, who are right now 4-7. The Chargers are 6-5 now, entering week 12. But we are now 12th in the conference, only above a couple of teams. And we're probably 1 week away from seeing the current playoff picture. So this week right here is pretty key. These next 2 games against Las Vegas are absolutely huge for the rest of our year. But our defense across the board has kind of fallen off a cliff these last couple of weeks. And so has the rushing offense too. It's just the passing offense that has been good for us, but only because we throw the ball so much, and Bo Nix has not turned the ball over as much as last year. So we got to improve a lot of different areas on this team. The run blocking needs to get better. The play calling needs to improve. The man coverage has to get better if we are going to have a chance to make the wild card. So the Raiders at 4-7. I mean, this should be a game that we really do compete in and hopefully win. But after our last couple of weeks, anything is possible. The Broncos return home in week 12. Absolutely desperate for a victory. Here we go. We sim the first half, and we are getting blanked. 17-0. Now it's the offense that can't do anything. We saw this in the first half against the Chargers, and now again here against the Raiders. And who starts with the ball in the second half? It is going to be Las Vegas. Our defense has to get a stop here if we want a chance to come back in this game. But they're driving down the fields in the red zone. 1st and 10. And things are looking absolutely grim for Denver. It is 24-0. I don't think it's even worth watching these next couple of drives because of how bad we've been. And now we get a couple of negative plays on our next drive and go 3-and-out. We punt the ball away again. And this game's going to end. We might not even put points on the board. We do end up scoring 8 points. We get 15 eventually, but it's 27-15. Antonio Pierce leads the Raiders to their 5th win, and we have now dropped 4 straight games. And we have 1 game left before the bye week, and if we don't win against Philadelphia in week 13, we are probably like at 2% odds to make the playoffs. This is just not what I thought was going to happen whatsoever. The offense gets going way too late here in this one. I mean, look at these ratings that we are allowing to these opposing quarterbacks, man. Gardner Minshew does not turn the ball over, goes 15 for 20 passing, 11.1 yards per attempt. We allow 5 sacks on Bo Nix. Ground game was actually solid in this one with Kamara, but only 11 carries for him because we just could not move the ball through the air, despite Mims going for a $131. Most of that probably came in the 4th quarter, honestly. And we can't get pressure. We are not forcing turnovers, really, and we're not forcing punts. The offense is kind of falling off a cliff these last couple of games, and the defense has not improved at all this season. Our last game ahead of the bye comes against the 7-4 Philadelphia Eagles. This is not going to get any easier down the stretch. Playoff picture, we're obviously not going to be here. The Chargers holding on to the 7th seed right now, with the Chiefs at 3, the Pats at 6. All teams that have beaten us at one point or another this year. We got swept by LA. We've already lost 1 against the Raiders. We tied the series against the Chiefs this year. And we are 15th in the conference, good for 2nd to last, only ahead of Pittsburgh. Upgrade point for Pat Surtain, the only player that seems to be worth a damn on this defense. Glad to have him around for the long haul. We're going to go man-to-man. Let's take a look at some pass rushers here in the next draft class, because at this point I think that's clearly been one of the letdowns from this defense this year. Not just our coverage, but I think, you know, it's harder to get stops, especially in the passing game, if you can't get pressure on quarterbacks on a reliable basis. We don't have many guys scouted here at left end, but there are a couple of solid players here. We'll look at the projections first. You've got Max Good here, left end, B tackling, C power moves as a speed rusher. So look at a weight on his finesse moves, but he's a really good athlete. Elite to great acceleration, good agility, and some solid speed. We just got to find more info on him later on. We got a round 1 projection here on Garrison Moorhead with A power moves as a power rushing archetype. He is 22, which is one of the older ages that will be drafted, but he does have C block shed, so solid run stopping ability. That has not been great these last couple of weeks on our defense after it was decent in the first half of the year. So a potential option here at left end. Interesting player here. Top 2 round projection, A block shed, B power moves, A tackling as a run stopper. Really good strength. Speed not so much. Not the best athlete, not the worst. But he does have some immediate skill, including a play rec. On the opposite end, there is Jamie Hurts. A power moves, as a power rusher, B tackling. Really good athlete across the board, especially with that strength, which you need for a power rusher. B play rec, A awareness is really solid for a rookie. At 40% scout, it seems to be a round 1 to 2 projection. Definitely going to add him to our board because he seems like he would be a really solid player. Another edge rusher, this time a linebacker. It's John Walden out of Ohio State. A power rushing archetype, B block shed, C tackling, great to good strength, good to solid speed, with A power moves, B awareness, again B block shed. Not really sure about the rest of his ratings to this point, but he is a top 5 projection, and if we keep losing, we might actually have a top 5, maybe top 7 or 8 pick. So that could be a move for us. We got to think about at least moving up to get a top pass rusher like him. And right now I'm using the board to sort by the different moves. Nobody else has higher than B, at least that we can tell, so we'll skip those guys. In terms of finesse at left outside linebacker, there is Carl Callaway, who's more of a day 3 pick, so we still could go after somebody after the first couple of rounds. It just won't be an immediate starter most likely, or an immediate impact player, but Callaway seems solid. B awareness, C play rec, decent finesse and tackle, but D injury is a concern. So we'll definitely add him to our board, but he won't be a major target for us until later on in the draft. And then looking at right outside linebackers, we look at power moves. Nobody has higher than C at all. Finesse moves, there is somebody up here. It's Marvin Lowry. Not really sure if there is a balance between, like, if speed guys are better than power guys in game. I have no idea. But Marvin Lowry is a speed rusher out of USC, 23 years old, with great to good speed, good to solid strength, so definitely has across the board athleticism and a awareness, finesse move, speed pursuit, B tackle, C hit power. So another option off the edge. We'll definitely add him to our board. And he's not going to be a top 5 projection, so probably might not have to trade up for him. We'll just have to see how the board falls and progresses through these next couple of mock drafts. And yeah, it's going to be either tackle, but probably edge rusher over tackle, I would have to imagine here in the first round based on what I'm seeing. Obviously, we have allowed plenty of sacks as well, but I think getting sacks for this, bottom tier defense is more important than trying to protect Bo Nix, who can't escape pressure on his own. Last chance to break the losing streak. It's grown to 4. The Eagles are in town in Denver. It's a very tough matchup for our defense. They have great offensive weapons with Saquon Barkley, A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts. So here we go. First quarter, Eagles drive right down the field and lead 7-0. And now they're inside our 10-yard line after a Denver punt, and they lead 14-0. Denver does get points on the board, but we trail at halftime 17-10. And we just threw a pick on the first play from scrimmage to open the second half. And now the Eagles have it in the red zone. And they put the ball in the end zone for 6. A costly INT thrown by Bo Nix. And now we go 3 and out next drive. This is just so grim, man. Neither side of the ball playing well. Eagles go right down the field and put us in a 3-touchdown hole. The Eagles storming a mile high and take it 21-16. 5 straight losses. Was the first half of the year just a fluke? That's what it's feeling like right now. This time, we turn the ball over 3 times. Bo Nix with his worst game of the entire season. It comes at a horrible time. Jalen Hurts, another quarterback to throw, over 110 rating against this defense. We allow 3 touchdowns to Saquon Barkley. Can't run the ball at all. A.J. Brown, 85 yards. What has happened to our team? Is this who we were all year long? We just did not really know it. On a couple of close games, we're 5-3. Now we're 5-8. And entering the bye week, it seems like all hope is lost to make the playoffs. Hindsight 2020, we should have sold at the deadline. We just should have given up all those starters that were on the last year of their contracts. We don't make that move, and now we are suffering because of it. Skill points, though, for Blackstock, at least. Will he be good enough to be a good number 2 next year? Alongside Surtain, I really hope so. But so far has not made that big impact that I was hoping for. But maybe he'll get to star dev by year's end. That's the best we can hope for right now. Got a point for Bo Nix here. It's been a rough last couple of weeks for not just the entire team, but also him. Gonna go strong arm this time, trying to get that throw power and deep accuracy up. I'm already thinking towards our next offseason because, you know, it seems like we've got no chance to make the playoffs. We're gonna come out of the bye week here, entering week 15. And we are now last place in the conference. Last place. Is there any chance that we can make the playoffs? The Chargers still have the 7 seed. And right now, they are 7-6. So if we run the table, win our last 4 games, and they lose 3 of their last 4, then we can get in. But if we have the same record as them, they have the tiebreaker over us, so we have to finish perfectly the rest of the way. They have to win maximum 1 more game, and then we have a chance. But that's not even including other teams that still have a chance, like Cleveland, or the Bengals, who are 8-5, or the Jets or Dolphins, who have better records than we do. We're last place in the AFC after being a potential playoff team to start the episode. This fall off is incredible. That is going to do it here, guys. This is one of the roughest episodes of the series so far, and we're on track for a worse finishing record than we had back in year 1. Not what I expected at all. 5-game losing streak. And now it seems like there's nothing to really be positive about as we approach year's end. We have to go 4-0 these last 4 weeks to even have a chance to make the playoffs. I'll see you guys next time. Please like the video, subscribe if you're new, and leave your feedback down below. Who is your favorite guy that we looked at in this next draft class so far? I'll see y'all next time. Take care.